This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Is a paid program. The content is provided by the advertiser. WPSL, its staff, management, and ownership are not responsible for the content. Investment involves risk. Prior to making any investment, an investor should meet suitability requirements. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future performance. Neither the opinions expressed nor the information provided constitutes a recommendation to purchase or provide investment advice. The material presented is not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person or firm. Securities offered through Centaurus Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. And now, the host of the Team Martek Hour, Joe Martek.
I have the Pope's mic on in the corner.
Like a rabbi today, you know?
I just turned your mic on just now. Who are you?
See, that's what I like about you. You control my show without even knowing what you're doing.
I haven't known what I've been doing for
Well,
years.
his name is Joe Martek. This is Team Martek, but I'm Alan Love, but I just want to clarify something from the previous hour. Dr. Sellards told our dear producer, Greg, that he no longer could be a triathlete. And, Greg, I just want you to know that the day is coming where you'll be using a cane and you'll be known as a tripod. Well, I use a walker with 4 legs and my own legs, so I'm already a sex pod.
Sex pod.
Oh, man.
Lord. Have you been how long have you been saving that one up, or did you just learn
Can't use that one on the Christian station.
Oh, no, you can't.
No, he said he's mad at CNO.
No, I'm really happy today. Congratulations to Mitt Romney that he showed a bit of common sense.
Well, what's wrong with him? You sure he's not having a hot flash or something?
Whatever it is, you did the right thing for once, Mitt.
Well, he's not done it yet, though. He's saying he's going to do it, but let's assume he's a man of his word, right?
Well, he's a man of faith, so I would hope so.
I would hope so. 340-1590, 340-1590, and Victoria's on her way.
Okay, time for the office pool.
Time for the office pool. Here we go.
Yeah.
Victoria will save us today.
340-1590.
Or next year.
Back in 2004, Dan Woron, independent insurance agent, Greg Fasula, attorney, Joe Martek, financial advisor, started doing radio shows with the simple concept of answering questions for people because we each had a different area of expertise. And here it is 16 years later, and we're still doing the radio shows, but we have added in the last few years Ms. Victoria Loyd, Remax of Stewart, back in around 08 or 09 when all of a sudden the Great Recession hit.
That was the last time we saw her.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
She's pretty irregular.
Call 340-1590 if you wish the deterioration of Team Martek show today to stop deteriorating.
Which brought in Mike Paulus, mortgage broker, who is doing so well that we never even see him or hear from him because everybody and their brother is refinancing, and then on top of it, construction is booming right now in Port St. Lucie or in St. Lucie and Martin County. I mean, speaking, we were just talking about you.
Oh, she knows.
It wasn't good, no.
She knows.
But it's an interesting thing that in this quote man-made recession because of this COVID has been somewhat cured because the government pumped trillions of dollars into the economy, and it all of a sudden unemployment is going down below 10%, which is a good thing. But people seem to be weathering the storm well. Businesses are starting back up again, except again up. I was talking to somebody in Connecticut this morning. They're pretty much housebound up there. They're not moving much.
They shut it down again.
Yeah. One question that I have, and I know we're not doctors, but it is amazing to me that Trump is having all of these rallies. A lot of people are not wearing masks.
Most are not.
But yet you're not getting the news that there are massive COVID outbreaks after these rallies.
Well, they're trying to get massive COVID outbreaks, but it's not happening.
And I wonder why.
We need to add, guess what? We got Dan and Victoria both show. Dan's late because now that he's a retiree, he doesn't show up on time.
But don't you wonder what their screening process is? It must be very good.
Well, this is a subject that we do talk about occasionally. Fake news, media, etc. Have you ever noticed that the media doesn't always report things? I watch network news for its entertainment value and for its propaganda value, not for its content. So I'm watching Channel 25 when I forget the guy that's the most popular network newscaster, so they say. And what they had, 200,000 people are dying of COVID in America. And Trump says only old people are dying. So what they did was they found every young person in America, and they went and interviewed the families so they could show that there was young people dying of COVID. Now, they didn't show, Greg, they didn't show any of us old people dying. I guess only the young people are allowed to be on TV when they're dying, right, from COVID?
I heard nobody really died from the COVID. They just died from complications.
Well, I do know
from other illnesses
I know
that
three.
they
So
had.
are you saying if they perhaps had cancer
Yes.
and then got COVID and the cancer was already stage 4, they diagnosed it as death by COVID?
Absolutely, because they were getting more money by categorizing them as
Well, then
COVID.
this I love.
Okay, yes, this is the second time I've heard that about more money.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
We're getting.
Oh, you should go on. Hey, remember you're in the media business. You should go online
am?
and look it up. Yeah, remember that? You're on
Yeah.
radio. Radio's kind of media. Have you
and
ever
I
heard
was
of it?
shocked that you get money when you die in a hospital. I
Well,
never
you don't
knew
get
that.
it.
You don't get it. The
No,
hospital
not
does.
us, but I'm saying that the hospitals get paid for people that are sick. but it's-
Medicare pays a higher premium for people that die from COVID and for using respirators.
Of course.
Okay, very simple.
Well,
This is scary.
how about this? Years ago, I had a wonderful insurance policy, and it's a health insurance policy. And every dollar I saved them, I got 50 cents.
See?
All right?
So you understand.
I was in the hospital, and there was this device that they said I had. And while I was in and out of, my mind, I knew I never had it.
Right.
So I went to the hospital. I knew the administrator. I said, what is this bill? He goes, that machine was on your floor, Dan. We charge everybody on the floor that machine in case it needs to be used. Now, I don't know if they still do that or not. But I said, that's not acceptable to me. That's like going to a restaurant and telling me, you see that case full of desserts? Even though you don't get one,
I'm charging you
I'm
for
charging
it.
you for one. So they took it off, and I got a good bit of money back.
That's
for
why
my
they call it empty calories.
Yes,
Well,
that's right.
I got on the internet searching for this documentation for this extra money being paid, and it's pretty obvious it's there. But what they also said was they're not seeing any fraud because you'll love this one. You'll love this one, Greg. You'll love this one. Because doctors would never lie because they took the Hippocratic Oath. So you know they're not going to lie.
Never.
And I thought, where in the world? A person's a person. Just because you're not naked, that makes you a different person. We're all.
That's scary.
I mean, it's the scariest. I've never.
But you have to remember this, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Doctors get sued all the time
Of course
for
they do.
stuff. So doctors try to practice lawsuit-proof medicine if they can.
Do you
And that's
use her the word?
extremely-
That's all they do is
extremely-
practice medicine.
That's extremely expensive to do that because they give you every possible thing just
Yeah,
in
but
case
that's
they
got
missed it.
nothing to do with falsifying a.
document.
It's
a
not
document.
falsified. You had the COVID.
Well,
No,
how do
I
you-
know that they did. They falsified documents when my mother fell in a hospital, and I was there. And I was there when they were testing her. They did not document everything that they did on her.
The key thing is what I'm trying to say is, look there's no autopsies done on old people that die from pneumonia or COVID or picking them because us old people die. Especially if you look on the paper when they did publish in the Stewartport St. Lucie News everybody that died from COVID that's local, most were in their 80s, some in their 90s. Very few were under age 60, but there are some. Now, They don't go into how many have compromised immune systems, have other health conditions. Dan, you've had pneumonia a couple of times.
Absolutely.
You're one of the best candidates for COVID, so you
Well,
got.
I'm the only one here with the mask on.
No, Alan's got his on too, because
Well,
he's a patriot.
I got a mask also, but
I
don't
got
need
one
to
in my
wear
pocket.
Yeah, I don't need to wear it right
You know,
now.
mine's got stains on it though.
You're supposed to wash it
Supposed to wash it.
and not wear it other places.
No, you can, because that's it. See, mine's 4th of July. I come out with a bang. I've got tons of them.
Yeah.
But they're great, and I think they're good to use.
But let's
in
take a
certain
phone call
situations.
while we're at it. 340-1590, 340-1590. Hey, Russ, Joe Martek, you're on the radio.
You guys don't have a problem with Trump stacking the Supreme Court this early? Right
God,
before an
no. Are you
Is he
kidding
Is
me?
he stacking it?
Why wouldn't, let me give you this. If it was you, me, or anybody that had a brain in their head, why wouldn't we absolutely take this opportunity to do
Well,
what is constitutionally correct?
Joe, remember this. Remember Bush Gore?
Remember him?
All right, remember that election that
Yeah.
was settled by the Supreme Court? All right, so the Supreme Court could play a big part in this next election if it goes bad for either candidate. They've already swore that they were going to, appeal it and fight it. So the Supreme Court could have a good shot at
Yeah.
doing that. Now, if it's a 4-4, which is what we have now,
Today.
4-4, guess who steps in?
Yeah.
Pelosi, because at some point in time, you have to have a new president.
Yeah.
So I would encourage Mr. Trump to seat someone just because of that. And another example would be, Joe, suppose you were the owner of a football team. I'm the owner of a football team. We're in the Super Bowl. We're down to the last quarter, and I have a chance to go ahead. And you say, don't do that, Dan. Let's go into overtime, and we can make some more money on our ads and stuff. So don't score that extra point.
No, the television networks would
Tell
say
them that's
that.
what they're saying, right?
You know I'm going to say, what are you out of your mind? I'm going to try to win.
Well, that's on, if you listen to the 5 on Fox, that's a big subject. Bottom line is, you got the ball, same thing you're saying. Hey, why would I try to lose if I've got the ball? I mean, it's my turn. Let's go for it. So, Russ, hey, I'm 1,000% for it, and and he's being very brilliant picking a woman because
Let me run the worst case scenario past you. Now, most Democrats don't vote because they're 18 to 25 and they just don't pay attention. Now, if your girlfriend tells you if Trump gets in, we can't have sex anymore because there will be no abortions, all these morons out there that normally wouldn't care are going to stand in line for a month so that they can have fun.
Well, I would tell my girlfriend, I don't expect you to have an abortion. I expect you to take proper birth control.
that's right.
Because abortion was
Right,
never
it's
meant to
got
be
half a brain. but
abortion was
Oh,
never
half
meant
you're using,
you
yeah.
don't
to be
have half
a form of
brain,
birth
do you?
control.
Hey, listen, I took all my girls when they're home, put them all on birth control 10.
Gives them a good complexion.
Gives them a good complexion. Russ.
So you are so sick.
Thank you. I resemble that. All I'm trying to say, Russ, I fully expect it to be a runaway for Trump. I can't imagine otherwise. I can't wait for September 29th with the debate, because I don't care how much they try to protect Uncle Joe on that debate. Trump's going to bury him. Now, if a miracle happens and Trump does not do well in that debate, then he deserves to lose, because this should be a slam dunk. Should be a slam
But
dunk.
if he can seat the justice, seat him.
Okay, time out.
Right.
Because it's this guy in the corner,
Alan Love?
our lovely attorney,
Yeah.
whose state Supreme Court in Wisconsin has scheduled the end of Election Day a week after Election Day.
This makes perfect sense to me, because they're frozen
I'm sure
up.
that will be challenged, and hopefully the Supreme Court will stop it.
Well, the U.S. Supreme
well,
Court, you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll
both-
override
Well,
the
who's
state.
gonna take that?
Well, both sides already have lawyers lining up. We all
Of
know
course,
that.
of
We
course.
all know that.
But I mean, how in the world did they come to that decision in the first place?
Is there a Democratic governor now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of a
he's-
coincidence.
Evers,
Isn't that a
he's,
coincidence?
Well, it shouldn't be.
Are you using?
I know.
You're using logic again.
I expect to know who wins that night.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm used to.
No kidding.
That's what we're all used to.
Yeah, they just need to cheat more.
3, 4.
Or not at all.
Hey, Russ. Other than that, my man, you got any other good news? Do we lose him already?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Hey, Russ.
He took the high road.
Hey, look at
He hung up on us.
I am very, very, very encouraged with all the stuff that is going on, and I just can't wait because and I love Biden's whole thing about this COVID. His whole everything is about COVID, and that Trump's doing such a crummy job. And wait till he challenges them face to face about what they actually did and the timing that he did it, and the Democrats were against certain things.
Well, we
that
know,
he did.
Joe, that when we hired Trump to be president, and that's the word I use. I hired him.
Yeah.
One of the main things I was hoping was for perhaps some good Supreme Court justice picks. I am thrilled that if he has an opportunity to do 3, what a wonderful thing that's going to be for our country.
Yeah, amen. Hey, and being brilliant, hiring a woman to replace a woman, that's just flat genius.
But I thought that was going to be the case all along, honestly. Yeah. I thought you would replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg with another female justice. And, listen, if we can have justices who lean to the left, we can have justices who lean to the right. As long as the justice loves this country and is patriotic, I can go along with that.
Wait till the Dems. I hope Trump picks the Catholic girl with the 7 kids, because the Dems are now going to challenge Catholicism again. This ought to go over well. 340-1590, 340-1590. Hey, Ricky, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Hey, y'all. I was calling today because we're moving down to Stewart, and we don't know any realtors, and we've been listening to your show, and we're like, well, how does this all work? Because you guys got some sort of like team there to help us all out, right?
Actually, this realtor is sitting right now. Now, let me toot her horn before she gets on the phone. Ms. Victoria Loyd is ranked as one of the 100 top realtors in the world for RE/MAX. She is probably the hardest working person I've known. I've known her since about 1980, and the woman only has 2 speeds. She's either sleeping or working. And when she tells you she's going to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning,
don't go to sleep.
Don't go to bed.
Yeah.
So now, Vic, you can talk to him.
Hi, how are you? I'm Victoria Loyd.
How are you? I'm doing fine. We're excited to move down, and we started looking online. There's all kinds of realtors online, but we listen to your show. How do we get a hold of you? Just call you up?
Yes, give me a call. You can call the station, or I can give you my number.
Go ahead and give your cell phone
number. If you have
number.
something to write with, I would be love to give it to you. All right, it's area code 772-201-8740.
Where are you moving from, Ricky?
So when we bought houses in the past, sometimes we need some extra help. Like, are you an attorney as well, Vicki?
No, I'm not an attorney.
Is there someone that would help us out?
Let me give you this.
Yes, we do.
In our group, let me just do you real quick, Ricky, and I appreciate this. Dan Woron, independent insurance agent, is sitting here. He, Greg Fasula, attorney, and myself started doing these radio shows back in 2004. Greg lives here and works here in Port St. Lucie. He'll probably die here, hopefully not soon. But we have now 5 different local professionals, all very well seasoned, which includes Ms. Victoria Loyd and also Mr. Mike Powlis, mortgage broker.
That means that they're old, Ricky.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
no, Ricky, we've got the whole gang for you. Not to worry. We can help you with all your needs.
Oh, great. So we get in a situation and we're all good. We buy the house, but if we get a little bump in the road, we got like we can tag team it or do like a threesome on it. Just get it. I mean, like get it as a group, get it done, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Listen, it's not only a threesome; it's a 5-some.
Where are you coming from, Ricky?
Tallahassee.
It happens.
Oh, yeah, I like Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, that's Georgia.
Yeah, it is. South Georgia. No,
South Georgia?
No, that's South Alabama.
Well, it could be that too. Or South Mississippi.
Georgia. We go to Thomasville all the time when we lived up in Tallahassee.
Thank you very much, and we'll be calling you, Miss Vicki.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ricky.
Bye-bye.
All right.
340-1593.
Listening in Tallahatchie. How about that? Huh?
340-15. You know, it's beautiful up there. You know,
Oh, I
this
love
is
especially in the springtime.
Yeah.
You go out to McClay Gardens. That was real nice.
Do you know the highest place in Florida is just outside of Tallahassee at 1,500 feet above sea level?
Is it a garbage dump?
Yeah, of course. It's a ski resort.
Ski
No, but it is at the end.
No, come on.
I'm serious.
A ski resort. At
I know.
1,500.
I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay. I
But
was
it's-
going to say. Now wait a minute.
That's what we call the dump down in Palm Beach County. It's a
Oh
ski
yeah,
resort.
yeah.
Let me ask Victoria a question. Victoria, at this point in the real estate market,
Yes.
because of we're sort of going through a boom at the moment, is it better to maybe, if somebody's moving in, to look at pre-existing homes versus building a new home as far as price?
Well, it depends on your time frame. That's number one, because having a house built is going to take you a longer period of time. So then you're going to have to rent and put out that additional cost also. Sure. So the other thing is, there's still some fabulous values out there in the resale market that has a lot of more upgrades and more maturity in the yard. You know, maybe the yard is fenced in, maybe they have more appliances or fans or blinds on the windows. So
Or waterfront, because a lot of those really desirable pieces of property,
Yes.
a lot of them have already been sold. I
yes,
mean,
they have.
but they were built because it was such a great location.
Yes. So it just depends on your price range, where you want to be, what, like you say, the product you're looking for. But it's definitely out there. And everything takes a little time. You know, I've been working with a client that wanted waterfront.
Yeah.
I've sold him many other properties, and we put an offer in, and then he wasn't happy with that particular home. But we're trying to write another contract on another waterfront.
I will tell you this, that I don't understand a new home at all, personally, unless you have a piece of property that you love, that piece of property, and you
want to
put
build
a
on
house
it or something.
Yeah, something
well,
like
that's
that.
different, yeah.
But man, you give me an existing home with mature landscaping, which
Right.
to me is a monster thing. Mature
too.
landscaping.
Absolutely.
Because it takes 10, 20 years to have good looking landscaping. So then you can redo your kitchen, your appliances, your flooring, all kinds of stuff, and have a brand new house with some mature landscaping. This is Joe Martek talking. That's how I feel.
You know, we didn't have any changes, it seemed like, in our little area of St. Lucie West for, maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, last 2 years, it's like our entire little neighborhood has turned over, you know.
Yeah, it was
and-
like 10 years.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
they're old
It
like
was
you
10
and
years, and it made a change. And that was my projection from when we fell. I said, it'll take a good, because I had investors, and they said, well, what do you think? How long would we have to hold on to them? What should we do? When do you think we can make some money? I said, give it 10 years, and it really has been about 10 years.
Yeah.
And boy, a lot of them are from New York.
Well, you know,
it's-
Well, they always have been.
yeah.
I love it when people say that, but Joe, right? Where was our
Back
development?
in 1976, I think I've said this on the radio before, I worked for Chase Manhattan Bank, and my first job was to do a demographic study on every county in the state, because Chase owned real estate in every county in the state that they took back.
Right.
In migration, every county, in migration, people moving to Florida, number one was New York. Even in the middle of the state, out in the middle of the cow pasture, New York was number one.
Absolutely.
Jersey was
Always
number
have
two
to.
on the East Coast.
Right.
Michigan was on the West Coast.
Yep.
And Maryland was on the West Coast,
Yeah.
but a lot of people from Maryland are coming over here on the East Coast now.
See,
That makes no sense. Maryland on the West Coast?
no,
of
makes no
Florida?
sense.
Yeah,
See,
that's
Really?
exactly where they were. Not me. I came to the East Coast, but
Michigan,
I'm not normal.
Michigan made perfect sense to me going on the West
Right
Coast.
down 75. Yeah.
Well, they were too cheap to pay the toll to come across the state.
Well, you know, some people like the West Coast because the sand's different, the water's different.
It is.
And that's what they look at.
Wait,
So
listen, thank you, Lord. I moved to Florida and I lived in Clearwater, which is a great town. I loved it over there.
Right.
But I will tell you, you ain't never seen traffic like you see in Pinellas County. That's the most densely populated county in the state. And that whole West Coast. You ever get into Fort Myers and you want to go to the beach from
Good luck.
downtown? Takes you 3 days to get to the beach in
Well,
season.
you know, on our
it's true, and there's no place to park.
No.
Yeah, in our IRSC road trips,
Yeah.
you know, we go to Fort Myers
Yeah.
and we go to Bradenton.
Yeah.
And it takes us an hour and a half from campus to the outskirts of Bradenton.
Yeah.
And another hour and 15 minutes to get across Bradenton to the campus. It's like, you got to
The
be
traffic
kidding.
over there
It's like
is-
New
is-
York.
Yeah, it's
Right.
awful.
Well,
It's
if you
brutal.
look at what we
It's
take for
stop and
granted
go.
here,
They'll be
everything in the
going
world we
60
do
and
is
they'll
10
stop.
minutes. You know?
Absolutely, and it's great. And the other thing on the West Coast, a lot of it is developments where you're in a planned community,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't want to always be in a planned community
Yeah.
also. So
Well,
We've got some big ones, like, you have the Villages out in Central Florida.
yes, absolutely.
You've got Margaritaville that Buffett is, putting
he's
together.
pushing now.
That's because
Yeah.
he can't sing anymore.
I know.
So
Well,
his voice
he can
is
sell-
really
A lot of people
gone.
think
He
he
can
never
sell.
could.
He really?
He can sell beer in houses now.
Yeah,
can-
because
yeah.
everybody bought his music.
340-1590, 340-1590. Let me toot Victoria's horn just a little bit more. The biggest single thing when we were doing these shows, and then when the Great Recession hit and we started talking about getting a realtor, I said, the only one I want is Victoria because of one word: integrity.
Right.
Integrity. And Victoria, one of her favorite sayings is, not all realtors are created equal. Well, Dan and I know not all professionals in any venue are created equal. People that don't return their
Amen.
phone calls, people that don't do what they say they're going to do, seem to be the norm rather than the exception. And Victoria has always, in fact, if you don't return a phone call and you get caught, you want documentation that you didn't return it, because I don't think you've ever not.
Well, I mean, I've had people say before, and I know they're not telling the truth, to be honest with you. I tried, but I couldn't get you or something, or I couldn't find your number. I said, well, all you do is Google my name. I'm everywhere.
Yeah,
so
that's right, yeah.
When somebody says
You're
they
pretty
can't,
hard to hide. Yeah.
I am hard to hide.
Yeah.
So when somebody tells me that, but believe me when I do say this, I have texted on my phone before, and the texts have come out pretty bad, where I didn't type that, honest to God.
I didn't mean that.
I know, really. I mean, I
You
asked.
talk text.
No, it's really true, because I kept asking if somebody was home yet, and I kept asking if they were horny yet. And I swear to God, I never did that.
That's a new sales technique.
Yeah.
It's a new
So I
sales
tell
technique.
people if my phone
You-
says crazy things, it's not
Well,
me.
you probably got a lot more response on that one.
I
Touchdown
did.
score.
They want to know what was wrong with me.
right.
And then the other thing is, sometimes the towers.
Where's Lenny when I need to talk to him?
This
and
show
counsel
is
him?
definitely not going to get replayed on CMO.
And what happens is, I do give people the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes the towers are not working, and I get the message a day later or so.
Well, we've
so
all
that
had
does
that,
happen.
and I tell people regularly
that does happen.
that, hey, listen, if we say we're going to call you back
You
and you
better
don't hear
know.
from us
You
in
better
2
call
days,
us.
please call again, because, Greg, this is because you
Cellular
and I were,
world, man.
You and I were educated by Jesuits, so this is very important. Last time I walked on water, it was frozen.
But
And it started to crack.
our reliance on technology can hurt us too. I'm
Oh, yeah.
going to give you a good example. We're in the midst of going to different management system. So we were told, hey, put everything as it comes through into your old management system, and we'll just send it over.
Oh, yeah, right.
Famous last words.
That sending over cost us about 3 weeks worth of notes.
Yeah.
So now we're having to go back and check and
no.
it's just the tip of the iceberg sometimes when you go, like, 'cause we got new phones, new this, new that, and it.
Well, I think a few nervous breakdowns were happening there.
that's-
Well, I
too.
can tell you the office definitely is feeling that
The
curb.
stress, yes.
That curb of going from being able to master one to being a novice in the other. It's going to take time.
Oh, sure.
I will
sure.
tell you, that's another one of my more favorite
So what
sayings.
you do is you let everybody go and get new people, and then they're in the new
Oh.
system.
Oh yeah, that works really well. This is something that'll make absolutely perfect
brother.
sense to everybody. If it works, change it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Always.
you love it.
I mean, go in the grocery store. You know where everything is. Oh, they rechange the aisle so it's different.
Well, we know that. So
Then-
you'll go to another aisle and buy something.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I mean, the whole
strategy. That's
concept.
all that is.
And I
Well,
like
I think
it when
what
they.
it is the people who are wholesaling it to them say, if you'll put my product here at eye level,
I'll pay you more.
I'll
yeah,
pay you more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true.
There
That's
you go.
absolutely
There you
true.
go. Yeah, yeah.
Three,
And all the
four,
stuff you used to like, it's down on the bottom. You have to get on your knees to look for it.
340-1590, 340-1590. Other than that, Alan,
Yes.
what are we what's the complexion politically looking at?
Well, I think that if your wish comes true and Trump gets a landslide, and It's such a big landslide that we're able to get the House back and keep the Senate. Our country is really going to go in a
straight up
constitutional direction for a long, long time, and I think that the American people are going to get this. I've been talking to a lot of people who voted for President Obama in 2016, who have been Democrats for a long, long time, and they're telling me that they're Americans first and not Democrats, and they are going to be voting for President Trump. And so if that becomes a nationwide scenario, except for, the obvious states like New York, New Jersey, and California.
Well, I still wonder about them. Here's the states in the most distress, and they're Democrats. Now, this makes perfect sense. They have the highest taxes, personal income taxes, and they want to raise those. Did you
hear the Jersey governor last week?
Yes.
I mean, he was unbelievable, and the taxes are going to be skyrocketing. And he said, "And we know you won't leave because you love it here."
Oh Lord!
Yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding me?
There'll be an express lane on I-95 from there to here. You watch.
Oh boy!
I was in Manatee a week ago, and big black guy comes in and he's handing out flyers for a gun show. So I said, "Are you a vendor there?" He says, "No, I'm security." And I said, "Are you voting for Trump?" Just hit him right between the eyes. And he says, "I have to." He said, "I can't vote for Biden because I'm a Second Amendment person. I believe in the right to bear arms. Number two, I don't believe in abortion." He said, "I have no choice. I have to." And I thought, you don't need to like the guy. I mean, Trump. I mean, I'm glad I couldn't afford living next to him
Joe,
anyway.
We talked about this before. We didn't hire him to be our spiritual guide.
No.
We hired him to get this country back in shape and put American first.
Yeah, and he's doing it. And he's doing it.
It's time to start an office pool.
COVID
is going to strike the night before the debate.
And Joe's going to get it.
Well, we don't know.
And then he'll
miraculously
heal up
the day after.
Or will Chris Wallace get it?
No, you know what? Now here's Chris Wallace is going to throw softballs, right? You think?
I think.
No, but not if he's like his dad.
Well, he's not like his dad.
But I'm talking. You know who he is.
I know. Yeah.
He has a dislike of Trump. It's very obvious.
There's no doubt about
it. Very obvious.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say, I think he's going to throw softballs. However, he can't throw the same different ball to Trump than he throws to Biden. He's got to throw the same ball, right?
And neither one will be able to have the flexibility of working off a teleprompter.
Of course. Is that right? They're going to have teleprompters.
As long as they don't give them
no,
the questions ahead of
they're
time.
not. That's been
no teleprompters on this one?
That's been the criticism of the Biden news conferences, that he's reading the
I know. So no
How
teleprompter.
can you debate off a teleprompter?
Well,
if they know the questions ahead of time, because this is one of the things that's been thrown out, that if they know the questions, they know the subjects, they don't know the questions. They've already picked the subjects, but not necessarily the questions. But you can pretty much guess what the questions are, right?
Well, there's a lady
we know
on
he does have
Fox.
something in his ear that somebody's talking to him.
That's right.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
chip,
We don't know
chip
that.
in his head.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm
He would be a lot
I think
better.
I've got that chip. My vet put the chip in my head.
See, I know where you're at.
I'm thinking none put one in mine.
Hey, that was called a club. You remember?
Based on a tweet, there may be one Democratic senator that may vote to confirm, because Amy Klobuchar yesterday tweeted one sentence. She said, "The president nominates the Supreme Court justice and the Senate confirms, period."
Right.
And Amy Klobuchar is one of the senators from Minnesota. And that, to me, was a very interesting tweet from her, considering where she's from.
Right.
I think Manchin might.
Joe might, yeah. Joe
He might.
Because it is what he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
He doesn't stop being president, 3 months out.
It has nothing to do with party.
No. Well, in theory.
Well,
yeah, I understand. In reality, a Supreme Court judge, once they're in. So literally, you want to, quote, do the best you can.
But did you hear Pelosi last night saying, we need an age limit? on the court. So it's like, okay, here we go.
Like we need an age limit on the Senate.
Yeah.
And the Congress.
340-1590, 340-1590. So I gotta talk a little bit about business real quick because it's happened to me twice this week. And you know how, Alan, we did this years ago and had to educate you about, quote, index annuities?
Yes, you did.
And I hear people come up and say, well, Joe, what about these index annuities? Like, they think these things sound good. Well, they do sound good. But here comes the magic words. When it says index annuity, that is a fixed product. Fixed means it pays an interest rate. That means you are not in the stock market. You're not invested in any stocks or mutual funds whatsoever. You are paid an interest rate. So what the index annuity tells people is we're going to pay you interest based on the performance of an index. Somehow or other, those words are not all repeated. I have never to this date heard one person tell me on an index annuity that the representative explained to them the word CAP, C-A-P.
Can the amount of money, because I'm going to talk layman's terms.
Go ahead.
Can the amount of money you're going to give me go down, and is there a limit to the amount of money I can make?
Okay. Number one, you cannot go down except for withdrawals.
Okay.
So it's a fixed product. Fixed means I'm paid interest. Okay. I have no deduction from interest, but I'm paid interest. So what every fixed annuity says, I'm going to pay you a fixed rate of interest. It can be no less than 1, no less than 2. Pick a number, whatever that number is that's in the contract. Now, the index annuity says sometimes they'll pay you nothing. Sometimes they'll pay, it depends on the contract, but it won't reach, like if the market went down 30%, you don't go down. So that's the good news. The bad news is, on the other end, money has to be invested primarily in bonds. Do you know what bonds are paying today?
Not much.
If you can get 1 or 2% on a bond, you get a junk bond, you might get 3 or 4. That's why they call them junk. So then the insurance company has to make a profit off of that bond, and now they're going to pay. So then they put a cap. They'll say, we're going to pay you interest based on the performance of this index. Index goes up 30%. Oh, you have a cap at 2, 3. I've seen them as high as 4. And then a lot of the companies, the company has the ability to change the cap every year. Now
they can drive it down or drive it up.
They can do any way they want. You've got to be so careful. This is such a difficult instrument to interpret. Next, liquidity. Okay, I put $100,000 into this contract. Can I take money out? Oh, yeah. Can I take out earnings? Almost never. If I take money out in the first 7, 8, or 10 years, do I pay a penalty? Oh, yeah.
Did you take it all out?
Sure, but you pay a penalty. Here comes another thing that happens. This is a wonderful one. A lot of these index annuities say, hey, we're going to give you a 10 or 12% bonus the first year, the first day.
But you can't get it.
But you can't have it. Because we got a 20% penalty that goes for 10 years or 20 years for you to withdraw.
So why buy it?
Well, then, that's exactly where I'm going. Now, here's where it almost can make some sense. You ready? You're 50. You're going to retire at 70.
I don't remember 50.
I know you don't.
I don't remember 70.
You don't remember
either,
70.
You, first of all, let me tell you, if you were 50, you look terrible. Anyway, so the
He
whole.
looks fabulous.
Well, see, women, how they lie for us, never for their husband, but for any other man, yeah. Anyway, so the concept of it is, if I, quote, get this to annuitize, meaning set up a pension, 10, 20 years from now, that almost can make sense. But one of the problems that goes in when you annuitize, meaning set up a pension, they're going to throw in certain guarantees. They're going to calculate certain things, your age, your sex, the then current interest rate, or the contractual interest rate. You know what interest rates are now? Zippo.
Zippo, yeah.
Be very, 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 very careful. Anybody that hears that word index annuity, now the word is supposed to be fixed index annuity. Fixed index annuity. I am licensed to do all this stuff. I will not do them. My broker-dealer says, okay, Joe, we will allow you to do certain ones. They try to cherry pick the best ones if there is such a thing. But you've got to sign a piece of paper that says you're dumb as a stump and you understand everything you're going to do ahead of time. And then, I mean,
So you think there's a better product out there, and if so, what might that be?
Well, okay, so if you want to look at an annuity, it's very simply this, and this is a big thing to me. Now, my compliance people say you're supposed to know the claims paying ability of the insurance company, but a variable annuity says, hey, we can be in the market. We can be in the market, like in the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 is 100 of the biggest tech companies going. This year, it's still up over 20% this year, even after a correction that's going on right now. So you get the whole 20% that's paid into your account. Now, where's the negatives? Well, we throw insurance on here because the insurance company says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a death benefit that protects your family in case you die when the market's down. It's nice when it's up 20, but what if a major correction hits and it goes down 30?
Bad enough that you died, right?
Bad enough. So what they do is they will guarantee very often what you put in minus what you take out, period. Or some of them say every 3 months we'll bump it up to the next highest anniversary. Some of them say we'll guarantee 5% a year, no matter what. So there's ways to protect your family, and yet you've got money in the market. Second part of the contract says, hey, we're going to guarantee you an income for the rest of your life.
Bingo.
No matter how long. And then
That's what Carol would want.
you're in the market. Every 3 months, if the market goes up, they lock in the high water mark, and that's your income based. It's based on the high water mark. So the high water mark is the critical words that you have to learn.
Joe, how about all the people out there that are listening to the show who are going to say, I've done okay. I rode the market back up,
Right.
but now with all this anxiety about the election, is there any advice you can give me to maybe park it for a couple months so I can wait? Because I'm concerned it's going to take a big drop, big correction.
Well, as a matter of fact, yesterday I had 2 phone calls just for that. One of them said he took half his money out of the market and put it in cash. That's all, just took half it out. Now,
Put it in the bank.
He left it in a money
Stick
market.
it in the mattress.
He put it in a money market
Mine
account.
would have to go into pillow.
It's in his brokerage account. So here's Joe Martek broker. Joe Martek broker says, you want to invest in XYZ, I don't care what it is, Joe Martek can do that. However, let's say you don't want to invest in anything for a period of time. You can let the money sit in a money market account, which isn't going to pay you anything.
And I've done that before.
Of
Joe.
course. So right now, there's a bunch of people and they're saying, Joe, what's your opinion? My opinion, I've said all along, was October 1st. Why? I want September 29th. I want to hear the debate. And then I'm going to make a decision whether to take money out of the market and put it into a money market account based on what happens. Because if, this is my opinion, Trump gets in, we're going to see the market roar. Now, if you get out and you miss the swing, you might miss 10 or 20% just because of a day or 3 or 5, because after that 29th debate, the market could start to roar then.
But if that security is worth a lot to you, you're in your 70s or 80s, and the security is worth a lot to you, then there are places you can go.
Now let's go back into the annuity contract. Annuity contract says, hey, no matter what, we're going to guarantee you income on a high water mark.
Yeah.
So if you're in a money market account, it doesn't go up or down, that's your high water mark forever. But if the market goes up, you are now locked in on an anniversary basis. Some companies are every 3 months, some are every day.
But how much do you have to pay the insurance company?
Okay, here comes the negatives. First, there's one more positive, and that is the first day all your money goes to work for you. They hold nothing out for commissions, fees, or expenses, which means there are commissions, fees, and expenses. So they have usually a 5 or 10 year period of time where you have a penalty if you cash the whole thing in. Stay with this thought. Most of these companies are the ones that I like say, here's what we're going to do. You can withdraw all your earnings at any time, no penalty. I had a client get in March the 20th of this year with $150,000. Today he's worth $212,000, and he's took out $24,000 already. He can take out another $50,000 today, no penalty.
Victoria, what if somebody wanted to diversify their portfolio and buy real estate? Are there still some good opportunities out there for investors in the real estate market, or do you think most of it's passed us by?
No, I don't think it's passed you by. You just have to pick and choose.
But Victoria, rental market's hotter than a pistol right now.
And they say that the rental market's even going to get better.
Well, think about this. If I buy a house and I can cash flow, and I know rents are up, the demand for rentals are higher and hotter. 100 people a day are moving into Port St. Lucie.
Right.
100 a day.
But a lot of them are purchasing something.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've sold something in a neighborhood that's even a higher value. See, all our prices are very low to them.
Compared up north.
You know, to us, we look at them and go, oh my
Oh my
gosh, how
God.
did that happen?
Right.
But to the people up north that have sold their houses for a lot of money, so what they did, this gentleman was from New York, and he said, oh my gosh, I sold my house, now I can afford something, a big property on the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Where he couldn't afford that, as you were
Sure.
speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
before.
How about that big, gigantic apartment complex they're building on US 1? That's an indication to me that the anticipation is a great need for rentals.
Is that an ACLF?
I don't know, but it looks as big as a hotel. It's enormous. Have you seen
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's right
huge.
next to Longhorn.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and right in that area.
Is it
there
an
over there.
apartment or is it an AC?
It says rentals.
Is it say
Well,
rent?
I haven't seen the sign. Every
I
time I
haven't seen
pass
it.
by, I've been looking. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the
I
sign yet.
haven't
But
seen a
there's a
sign.
good possibility that
Well,
it is.
I look at, see, when you do an
'Cause you're
apartment
close to
project, you have
the
to put a
mall.
patio in and you have to have a sliding glass door. I didn't see a lot of sliding glass doors. You remember?
Yeah,
Vic?
and they did all wood frame. That was interesting
all
too
wood
when I was
frame.
watching them put it up.
Except for the
How did they do
staircase.
that?
Except for
Whoa.
the staircase. The staircases were put in first were concrete.
Yeah, thank goodness. I mean, even the developments that we did the Epicor floors.
Yeah,
Remember, even
yeah.
though some of ours were wood frame.
Yeah.
With
Well,
the
I'm not
siding.
against wood frame. Look at Key West is still standing, and every house down there is wood frame. So
That's right, and I'm, I have a contract. Well, an offer in on one in Key Largo right
yeah.
now.
Oh, wow.
all of that good old pine, the houses will
pine?
move a little bit. They actually will move and swing with the wind. But I will tell you, and this is something that a lot of people don't think, concrete is very porous. You pour a glass of water on a 6-inch thick piece of concrete, given period of time, it'll go all the way through that concrete.
And
Absolutely.
and the same opposite, as the water table rises, you can have water come up through your slab,
Yeah.
and if you have carpet or something and don't realize it, it can get moldy and mildew.
Absolutely, and I've seen that
Absolutely.
happen many times. And I don't know, when I was doing the radio, the TV shows, when
Right.
Bill Brothers had his station there and we were doing the real estates on TV, we had an engineer there, and he's saying that the wood frame homes are more pliable even in a hurricane because
Yeah.
they move, like
Yeah.
you're saying,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
And that the block homes, it makes no difference. Once the roofs go,
Yeah, makes
then
no difference.
it makes no difference.
Right.
And then the other thing that he was saying is termites.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any difference because there's termites. You still have wood in a block home.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Plus, they have termites that go through block also.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing they said, the other one good thing that they said, that a frame home is breathable and you don't get the aches and pains. So when people have arthritis and they're in a block home because of them using water and mortar inside, that they stay moist, that you don't realize it. So they are more damp inside of those homes.
Well, I can remember when the insurance industry would not allow me to insure a home that had a high crawl space. And then engineers came out and said, look, as the hurricane is blowing over and under the crawl space, it creates a better condition for the house, and they reversed that position.
That's great. Let me ask you the new thing that I'm hearing, and I want to know if this is true or not. That so 95%, use that number, is a block home.
Right.
The 5% is because they did the decorative window. Maybe it's a bay window and they used the wood there. Why are they calling that a wood frame home?
For most insurance companies, if it's over a certain percentage, let's say I've got a 2-story house,
Yes.
first floor is all block, second floor is all wood, it's all frame according to the insurance industry.
And
So
almost
once it-
always trusses in the roof. are
Why?
wood.
Why would that be?
It's horrible what
That's
they're
what
doing.
Are you using logic
I'm
again?
No, but I
explaining
need
it
to know. So let's say 95% is block, though, and there's only a 5%. Why are they?
It should be CBS. It could possibly be that carrier.
If it
It's
is
just a
95.
carrier.
If it is 95.
All right. It's just like when you do the wind.
It was quoted
the
as
wind
95.
mitigation inspection. If more than 25% of your roof is not hip, let's say you have a hip roof.
I have a
but,
gable.
But you built a Florida room on the back that's flat. Your whole house is considered not hip.
Really?
Yeah, and you lose that whole credit.
And that's so wrong. They
Yes,
need
it's wrong.
somebody
So
to really.
you're using logic again. See,
well,
I'm not using logic. I'm using like I'm going to choke you.
well, what I think is that the building
She's
industry.
Italian.
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
I think the building industry lobbyists have been successful in getting work for the construction industry.
Yeah.
Because now we have all these little sub companies that do, we'll put new clips in your trusses. We'll put a little hip on that flat deck roof and make it all hip now. There's a cottage industry to get your house up to snuff for the wind mitigation credit.
Yeah, and I know. And my roof's gable, and I have a metal roof, and I've got to tell you, I've never had a problem with my house.
Yeah.
And I put that metal roof in 2004, didn't know storms were coming.
Here comes the key. See, you're using you as an example. You can't do that. The industry could care less about you. They look at the whole overall picture, and they come up with a formula.
But I came up with that, too, when I was in my 20s, and my insurance, even though I'm a good driver and never had an accident or a speeding ticket,
You're paying
it's
for the
because
bad
I'm
ones.
paying for the
That's
other
right.
people that are bad.
Well,
That's
how about
not
this?
fair.
Suppose you
Wait a minute.
owned a commercial building.
Since when did life ever get fair?
I'm trying.
If you owned a commercial building, you get no
How much
credits.
time we got, Chief?
No
we got
credits.
1
No
minute.
credits for a commercial building. Now,
Wow.
how fair is that? You get none.
That is horrible.
That is horrible.
340
So you think it's 25%?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
340-1593. You're worth 25%.
That's all I get.
I thought, isn't that all state 25%? Or is that 40%?
I don't
On
know.
the commercial.
If you read those
I don't know,
commercials,
but what are you
insurance should
wearing?
be free.
What's Jake wearing?
Every single
That's
company
State
saves
Farm.
you 25 or 40%. Well, no kidding. If you got a drunk driving charge you're paying through the nose, 5 years later, if you're still staying with that same company, you're paying time to move because
Yep.
you're now a better risk.
That's right.
They don't tell you that
No,
on the
they do not.
commercials. 340-1590, 340-1590. We're just about out of time. But, hey, I want to thank Russ for calling in, and Ricky, thanks for calling
Thank
in.
you,
And you're going to
Ricky.
love
I'm looking
Victoria and
forward.
our group because what she'll direct you in the right direction.
There's some great values here on real estate. Ricky.
Man.
You're gonna
Oh,
be
there are
impressed.
some great values. And
Say goodbye.
Victoria Loyd saying goodbye from Remax is
Adios
good.
until next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Team Martek Hour. The Team Martek Hour is a paid program. The content was provided by the advertiser. WPSL, its staff, management, and ownership were not responsible for its content. Investment involves risk. Prior to making any investment, an investor should meet suitability requirements. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future performance. Neither the opinions expressed nor the information provided constitutes a recommendation to purchase or provide investment advice. The material presented is not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person or firm. Securities offered through Centaurus Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. Tune in again next Wednesday at 11:05 for the Team Martek Hour here on WPSL 1590.
WPSL Port St. Lucie.